Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Chaboy West for Show, bringing you a video that's kind of different. I figured I'd just throw it out there because, while I'm waiting in between stages of making content, I thought I'd just make something in relation to what I'm going to be doing soon. So this video is going to be talking about rogues in Legion, and it seems like the same topic almost nearly every World of Warcraft channel has talked about, but my style of doing this isn't going to be some strict hardcore raiders guide or PvP guide or the best spec for rogues or the changes to rogues. Like, it's not going to be some concrete thing. It's really just going to be kind of a rant spiel of thoughts, as really from a casual perspective as to why I am enjoying or going to enjoy Rogue in Legion once I boot it up and start leveling him up again, getting him to the level cap, and playing him there with all of the new stuff that they've done through Legion. So it's going to be a little different. But before we get started, I would love if you would just leave a like on this video. My goal is to hit 10 likes. That'll literally mean the world to me, man. It'll give us some hype as we move and venture into the World of Warcraft content. I have some very interesting stuff I plan to make, so it'll just kind of steamroll this thing, get it going, and I will be greatly appreciated for that and your comments, and I'll reply to those and whatever. So let's get started. So, it's exciting because rogues have always been in an interesting place, I think, through World of Warcraft. I haven't played as long as pretty much every World of Warcraft player has played. I started back in Mist of Pandaria, and I only really dived hardcore into it, trying to get into PvP, doing battlegrounds, getting geared up. Like, I only did all that stuff in Warlords of Draenor, so you guys are probably thinking, wow, who's this scrub? What a casual, But, I really enjoyed it in Mist of Pandaria, and then Warlords of Draenor kind of took rogues to a different route that a lot of people didn't like, and some people were okay with it, but personally, I kind of got bored of it. It was just kind of like there. It's like, bleh, I'd rather play another class anyway, and I've always been a rogue at heart. Not that they really did anything bad, it just kind of didn't have that flair on it like a lot of other classes have. Like, you see shamans over there laying down the hardcore bursts as they're popping their cooldowns and like dropping a billion elements on people with all their procs, and you see ret paladins with all their their utility in arenas mixed with the hardcore deeps they were doing before they got a little bit nerfed and so on. But, warriors jumping all over the place. You have death knights. I mean, there's all this flash. And then rogues were just kind of like, you have your stealth attacks you open up on people. You run around and recuperate. And, in PvE, it was just incredibly boring. For PvP, it was always fun because rogues are just like the PvP master race. You stealth in. It's your most stereotypical PvP class ever. You stealth in, sap somebody and burst them down to death, or put bleeds on them, poisons on them, whatever you have to do. But I feel like rogues and Warlords of Draenor were very similar to hunters in the regards of they have 3 DPS specs, and all 3 of them don't really feel different. They all felt like they played the exact same. Same thing for Hunter. You had Survival, Marksman, and Beast Mastery, but even if you switched in between those, it still felt like the exact same thing. Like you were doing the same stuff. That's how I felt like rogues were. You could go combat spec, and sure, you have a few different types of cooldowns with Killing Spree and with your red buff and all this stuff, and you manage it differently. But realistically, especially in PvE, you switch from that to Subtlety, and it's basically the same thing, popping Shadow Dance, popping, whatever it was, popping your cooldowns, using Vanish, going Stealth. I mean, it was basically the same thing. It felt like the exact same spec, or the same class. And then Assassination, to me, felt exactly like Subtlety, You still have a little bit more dots to control rather than burst, but overall, you all still use the same poisons, you all do all this, and it was just kind of like, it felt like the same class overall. But what really excites me about Legion is, some people are on the fence about the Outlaw Rogue, some people love it. I would side with the people who love it because, number one, I love pirates, and that whole theme of that, idea of having a gun as a rogue is like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this day in an MMO period, which Guild Wars 2 did very well in catering to me in that regards, and being able to use a pistol as a thief. That's what I loved in Guild Wars 2, just being able to use a pistol. Like, that's all I ever wanted, And so World of Warcraft is finally incorporating that, so I love it. I love the grappling hook, all the mobility and utility that it provides, the RNG roll of bones, which you can spec into slice and dice if you want to. I haven't looked into how effective those things are in comparison to each other, but you have grappling hooks, you have your lunge attack, which you can attack from a range, you have a ranged stun, hello, I mean, it's just like, it's incredible, all the differences. And when you switch to Outlaw, it seems like a different spec. You know, you still have Killing Spree, you still have, you know, a lot of your same things. You have some more defensive cooldowns, and you have, you know, it's more of a warrior type approach. You have, whatever it is, Ambush now. You still have that kind of stuff. But it feels like, since they've pruned down the abilities for each spec, you know, you go Subtlety, and all of a sudden you have, instead of Ambush, you have a skill that was basically like the talent version of Ambush, where you would teleport behind your target every time you ambushed. You already have that built into a move, as well as a kind of like a pre-med skill, but it boosts your damage and whatever else, whatever that skill is called. This is a rough guide. I'm not actually looking at the game or anything while I'm recording this. I'm just looking at a blank recording screen, so I don't know the names off the top of my head. But you have that move, and it's nice, because each of the specs have their own niche. You know, you go Assassination, that's the only spec now that has poisons, period. That means you can apply your non-lethal poisons, your lethal poisons, and you can just dot the mess out of things. You know, you apply Rupture, you have Garrote, you have your poisons, you have your, man, it's just like, oh, you have whatever it's called, Venomous Rush, what's that? Is that what it's called, Venomous Rush? Anyway, Venomous Wounds, whatever that is. All of your moves just apply dots. You can spec for Killing Spree to do damage over time in arenas, which I think that used to be really good. I don't know how well it is in Legion yet, but man, so many dots. Like, you feel like an Assassination rogue. You feel like you're applying DPS, or I'm sorry, damage over time, and applying pressure and doing these, like, it feels like an assassin. You feel amazing about it. You know, you spec Subtlety. A lot of people are kind of on the fence about the new Shadow Dance coming back and how you have to micromanage it, and it has 3 charges and you can go stealth and reuse stealth moves, but it feels like you're dancing in and out of your stealth moves and you're relying on Subtlety, just like it's supposed to feel like. You know, it feels bursty, it feels amazing, it feels fast paced with your backstabs and you're teleporting left and right and over here and over there, and you just feel like you're dancing through the shadows, you know? It feels incredible. And then once again, going back to the Outlaw Rogue, it feels like a warrior slash rogue. You know, you're going straight into combat, you have some more defensive cooldowns, you're shooting people to stun them, you're grappling hooking everywhere in BGs, and it's just like, oh man, it is a freaking blast. So, you know, that's just a few of the reasons why I'm so excited, because rogues have always been, the reason I leveled it up to begin with is I never really was interested in using them for endgame PvE, you know, doing raids, doing dungeons, doing whatever the heck it may be. I never really planned to do that. I might have done some old school content to get weapons or mounts or do guild runs or whatever, but I never really planned to do hardcore PvE on a rogue just because it was so boring. But through all the testing and playing I've been doing now, rogues seem to be in a very exciting place right now as a class. Some would disagree, but me being a rogue lover, someone who loves the thief class in every single MMO I play, like, I am having a blast, and I'm going to have a blast. And this is purely from a casual perspective, looking at the novelty of the class, looking at the different specs and how they seem different from each other, because I love versatility. You know, it's a pure casual perspective, because I'm sure a lot of hardcore raiders and high-rated arena players are like, man, it just sucks because it doesn't do enough damage, or it doesn't do enough this, or they removed the best PvP move, or, you know, whatever. You know, they have their own opinions, but this is like from a pure casual rant perspective of a rogue player who plays the game for fun right now, which I want to become more hardcore. I just haven't dedicated enough time to it. So that's kind of where I'm going for the future, and I have a lot of exciting videos planned. So hopefully, if you're on the fence about Rogue or you wanted some more information, this kind of helped you out a little bit, even if you are from the hardcore side. I mean, we welcome everybody here in this channel. But I hope it helped. I hope you enjoyed, you know, nevertheless, even if you don't even play Rogue, I hope you enjoyed the video. It means the world that you came and watched, and like I said, that 10 like goal is going to mean the world to me. Leaving a comment and just discussing about rogues or Legion or different classes or whatever it may be, like, throw that comment down there. We'll chat and hang out. And expect some very unique, interesting World of Warcraft content in the future, so subscribe for that, and make sure to stay tuned for future live streams, because I don't really plan to live stream World of Warcraft soon, but I do play a lot of other games aside from World of Warcraft if you're interested in that as well. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. This is your boy, Wes, for show, and I'm signing out, guys. Peace.